Welcome to Cognitive Crusade. Today we are going to explore how World War I started. Buckle up, it's about to go down. The year 1914, Europe hummed with industry and innovation. Great powers flexed their military might, but beneath the surface, tension simmered. A sense of unease, a foreboding hung in the air. Europe was a powder keg waiting for a spark. The continent was a patchwork of empires and nations, each with its own ambitions and anxieties. Germany, newly unified and hungry for power, challenged Britain's dominance. France, still smarting from a previous defeat, yearned for revenge. Russia, vast and unstable, grappled with internal strife and external pressures. The Ottoman Empire, once mighty, teetered on the edge of collapse, its decline fueling ambitions in the Balkans, a region already riven by ethnic and nationalistic tensions. In this volatile atmosphere, a complex web of alliances had emerged, ostensibly to maintain peace, but in reality, they heightened the risk of war. These agreements, often forged in secrecy, meant that even a minor conflict could quickly escalate into a continental conflagration. Two main alliances dominated European politics. The Central Powers, comprised of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and the Triple Entente, made up of France, Russia, and Great Britain. These alliances were like tripwires, ready to be triggered by the slightest misstep. Germany, under Kaiser Wilhelm II, felt increasingly threatened by Russia's growing military strength and France's desire for revenge. It saw Austria-Hungary as a crucial ally in maintaining its position. Austria-Hungary, a sprawling empire struggling to hold together its diverse ethnicities, looked to Germany for support against rising nationalism within its borders and Russian expansionism in the Balkans. On the other side, France, still bitter over its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, sought to contain German power and regain lost territory. It found a willing partner in Russia, which shared its concerns about German ambitions and saw an alliance with France as a way to bolster its own security. Great Britain, traditionally wary of continental entanglements, initially remained aloof. However, Germany's aggressive naval buildup and its growing economic rivalry convinced Britain to join the Entente. This intricate web of alliances meant that any conflict involving one power could easily drag in the others, turning a local crisis into a global war. The fuse was lit on a sunny June day in Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, then a province of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife, Sophie, were visiting the city. Their presence was meant to be a show of strength and unity, but it proved to be a fatal miscalculation. A group of Serbian nationalists, members of a secret society known as the Black Hand, saw the Archduke's visit as an opportunity to strike a blow against Austro-Hungarian rule. Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist, lay in wait along the Archduke's route. As the Archduke's open car approached, Princip seized his chance. He fired 2 shots. The first fatally wounded Sophie. The second struck the Archduke in the neck. The assassination sent shockwaves across Europe. It was an act of terrorism that would have unimaginable consequences. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, outraged and seeking revenge, blamed Serbia for the assassination. The stage was set for a chain reaction that would plunge Europe and the world into the abyss of World War I. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand ignited a diplomatic firestorm. Accusations flew across borders. Ultimatums were issued and ignored. The intricate web of alliances meant to deter aggression instead acted as a deadly chain reaction, pulling one nation after another into the abyss. On one side stood the Central Powers, led by Germany and Austria-Hungary. Bound by a shared sense of ambition and fear, they saw the assassination as an opportunity to assert their dominance and reshape the European order. On the other side stood the Allied powers, initially composed of France, Russia, and Great Britain. Driven by a mix of idealism and self-interest, they viewed the Central Powers as a threat to European stability and their own national security. The lines were drawn. Europe, once a tapestry of interconnected nations, was now cleaved in two, poised on the brink of a cataclysmic conflict. The world watched in horror and disbelief as the drums of war beat louder, signaling the end of an era and the beginning of a new and terrifying chapter in human history. The Central Powers, bound by ambition and fear. Germany, under the leadership of Kaiser Wilhelm II, approached the war with a sense of both ambition and apprehension. The Kaiser, eager to secure Germany's place as a global power, saw the conflict as a chance to break free from the constraints of the existing European order. Germany's military planners, confident in their nation's industrial might and military prowess, had devised a bold and risky strategy known as the Schlieffen Plan. This plan called for a lightning-fast attack on France through neutral Belgium, aiming to knock France out of the war before Russia could fully mobilize its vast but slow-moving army. Austria-Hungary, shaken by the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, saw the war as a chance to crush Serbian nationalism and reassert its authority in the Balkans. However, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a patchwork of different ethnicities and languages, was plagued by internal divisions and lacked the industrial capacity of its German ally. The Ottoman Empire, once a mighty power, had been in decline for centuries. Eager to regain lost glory and suspicious of Russian intentions in the Black Sea region, the Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers, adding its strategic location and vast but poorly equipped army to the alliance. Pause. 2S France, still smarting from its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War and determined to regain the lost provinces of Alsace-Lorraine, entered the war with a sense of grim determination. The French army, though smaller than Germany's, was well-trained and equipped, eager to defend their homeland. Russia, ruled by Tsar Nicholas II, saw itself as the protector of Slavic peoples and felt obligated to defend Serbia from Austro-Hungarian aggression. Russia's vast size and population gave it a significant advantage in manpower, but its outdated industry and inefficient transportation system made it vulnerable to a quick strike. Great Britain, initially hesitant to get involved in a continental war, joined the conflict after Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium. The violation of Belgian neutrality, which Britain was sworn to protect, outraged the British public and galvanized support for the war. Britain's main strength lay in its powerful navy, which would play a crucial role in blockading Germany and controlling the seas. Declarations of war, a diplomatic domino effect. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, setting in motion the diplomatic domino effect that would plunge Europe into darkness. Germany, honoring its alliance with Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia on August 1st and on France on August 3rd. Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium on the same day prompted Great Britain to declare war on Germany, completing the lineup for the greatest conflict the world had ever seen. Within a week, the major powers of Europe were at war. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand had lit the fuse, and the tangled web of alliances had acted as a deadly accelerant, turning a regional conflict into a global conflagration. The world watched in horror and disbelief as the lights went out on the old order, plunging Europe and the world into the abyss of World War I. Germany entered World War I with a clear objective: to secure its place as the dominant power in Europe. Kaiser Wilhelm II believed that Germany deserved a place in the sun, a position of global power. The German military, guided by the Schlieffen Plan, sought a swift and decisive victory. Their strategy hinged on knocking France out of the war before Russia could mobilize. The plan was a gamble that ultimately backfired. Germany's ultimate war aims extended beyond the defeat of its immediate enemies. The Kaiser envisioned a vast German-dominated empire, a Mitteleuropa. Austria-Hungary, a sprawling empire of diverse ethnicities and cultures, entered World War I with a more defensive goal: survival. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand had exposed the fragility of the empire, revealing the deep-seated nationalist tensions that threatened to tear it apart. Austria-Hungary's leaders, led by the aging Emperor Franz Joseph, saw the war as an opportunity to crush Serbian nationalism, which they viewed as an existential threat to their rule. Victory, they believed, would restore the empire's prestige and quell internal dissent. However, Austria-Hungary's military, hampered by outdated equipment and poor leadership, proved ill-prepared for the realities of modern warfare. The empire's reliance on its more powerful German ally would only deepen as the war dragged on, ultimately undermining its ability to achieve its objectives. Austria-Hungary's internal weaknesses, particularly its inability to manage the aspirations of its diverse population, hampered its war effort and ultimately contributed to its dissolution. France entered World War I with a burning desire for revenge and a determination to reclaim its lost provinces of Alsace-Lorraine. The French people, united in their patriotism, yearned to avenge the past and restore their nation's honor. The French army, though smaller than Germany's, was highly motivated and well-trained. French soldiers, imbued with a strong sense of national pride, fought with fierce determination, enduring unimaginable hardships in the trenches of the Western Front. France's war aims extended beyond the recovery of lost territory. The French government sought to decisively defeat Germany, permanently crippling its military power and ensuring French security for generations to come. The war for France was an existential struggle, a fight for its very survival as a nation. France's determination to achieve its war aims would come at a terrible cost, both in terms of human life and economic devastation. The war would leave an indelible scar on the French psyche, shaping its foreign policy and national identity for decades to come. Great Britain, defending the balance of power. Great Britain, initially hesitant to get involved in a continental war, entered the conflict primarily to defend the balance of power in Europe. The British government, alarmed by Germany's growing military and economic might, saw a German victory as a threat to British interests and the stability of Europe. The British public, initially divided over the war, rallied behind the government after Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium. The violation of Belgian neutrality, which Britain was sworn to protect, outraged British sensibilities and galvanized support for the war effort. Great Britain's primary military contribution to the war effort came from its powerful navy. The Royal Navy, the largest in the world at the time, imposed a blockade on Germany, strangling its economy and hindering its war effort. British naval supremacy also allowed it to transport troops and supplies to the continent, supporting its allies. Great Britain's war aims evolved over time, from containing German aggression to seeking its unconditional surrender. The Great War, a reckoning in blood and bone. World War I descended into unprecedented carnage. It shattered illusions of glory, exposing the brutality of modern warfare. Millions of soldiers, swept by patriotic fervor or conscripted, found themselves in a nightmare of mud, blood, and steel. New technologies, from machine guns to poison gas, transformed the battlefield into a mechanized abattoir, a grim calculus of attrition where lives were expended for a few yards of earth. Over 9 million soldiers perished, countless others maimed or scarred for life. Civilian populations suffered terribly, with famine and disease claiming millions more. The Western Front, a stalemate of death. The Western Front, a 400-mile scar across northern France and Belgium, became synonymous with trench warfare horrors. Millions faced each other in a deadly stalemate for 4 years. Soldiers endured relentless artillery, machine gun fire, and sniper attacks. Disease spread by rats, lice, and contaminated water was rampant. Major offensives resulted in staggering casualties for minimal gains. The Battle of the Somme epitomized trench warfare's futility. The human cost of the Western Front was staggering. The Eastern Front, a vast and brutal theater. The Eastern Front was a theater of vast distances and greater brutality, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. Despite their courage, the Russians suffered appalling losses, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire was further weakened by the war's relentless toll. Beyond the trenches' global casualties. The horrors of World War I were not confined to Europe, drawing in colonies and dominions from every corner of the world. The Spanish flu pandemic, exacerbated by the war, claimed an estimated 50 million lives worldwide. Section 5. A Generation Lost, the Enduring Impact. As the guns fell silent on November 11, 1918, the world surveyed the wreckage with disbelief. The war had shattered empires, redrawn Europe, and left a darker, more cynical world. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh penalties on Germany, sowing the seeds of future conflict. World War I engulfed vast swaths of Europe, from the North Sea to the Middle East. The Western Front became synonymous with trench warfare, while the Eastern Front saw greater mobility. The war's geographical scope reflected its truly global nature. The Western Front became a byword for the futility and brutality of trench warfare. Major offensives resulted in appalling casualties for minimal gains. Battles like Verdun and the Somme became synonymous with the horrors of the Western Front. The Eastern Front saw vast armies maneuvering across Eastern Europe. The battles of Tannenberg and the Masurian Lakes highlighted the disparity in military leadership. The Brusilov offensive exposed the fragility of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Beyond Europe, global theaters of war. The Ottoman Empire's entry into the war opened new fronts in the Middle East and the Balkans. The war's global reach underscored its unprecedented scale and impact. Victory and defeat. A world transformed. By autumn 1918, the tide had turned in favor of the Allied powers, the Triple Entente. The war fundamentally altered the balance of power, ushering in a new era of uncertainty. The collapse of empires, a new order emerges. The aftermath of World War I saw the disintegration of the German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian empires, with the formation of countries such as Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Poland, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Austria, Hungary, Iraq, Lebanon, Turkey, Syria, which were part of either Austria-Hungary, Ottoman Empire, and Russia. These new nation-states, which emerged after the war, reshaped the political landscape of Europe. The Treaty of Versailles, sowing the seeds of discord. The Treaty of Versailles imposed harsh penalties on Germany, creating deep resentment. Instead of healing wounds, it created a breeding ground for future conflict. The legacy of war, a world forever changed. World War I left an indelible mark on the 20th century, reshaping the political map and accelerating social change. The war's legacy continues to resonate today. Section 1. The Echoes of a Cataclysm. World War I's impact on the human psyche was profound, leaving a generation disillusioned. The Treaty of Versailles created a volatile mix that would explode 2 decades later. The seeds of future conflicts. The Treaty of Versailles ended World War I but failed to deliver lasting peace. Its harsh terms, especially the reparations and war guilt clause, fostered resentment in Germany. Instead of healing, the treaty poisoned international relations. Nationalism and imperialism remained unchecked. The League of Nations lacked the power to enforce peace. The seeds of future conflicts were sown, leading to World War II. Remembering to learn the enduring relevance of World War I. World War I stands as a stark reminder of the human capacity for both destruction and resilience. The war's enduring relevance lies in drawing lessons from its mistakes and striving to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. It is a call to remember the millions who perished and to honor their sacrifices by working tirelessly for peace. Peace is an active endeavor that requires constant vigilance and a willingness to learn from the past. If you liked this video, please watch our video on the 10 world leaders who were assassinated. Link in the bio.